Bam! Hey kids, welcome to the mess. Here we go. It has been a while, right? It's been an unbelievably hot summer and just insane. Just boat, and work and family. And, I've gone full stroke into boats, as we all know. And I was talking to my brother Wes today, and we were talking about quads, and I said I am going to start flying again and building again. I'm going to do it in the fall. Once it gets too cold for my fat ass to get in the river and swim after my boats, I'm still going to build boats in the winter, but I'm going to get back into quads. Not as heavy as I was before, but in more of a leisurely pace, if you will. So I get a lot of people send me questions about boat stuff now, which kind of makes sense, right? I've got like a zillion boats and built most of them from scratch or modified and whatever else. And I said, you need to start doing tech videos like you used to do with quads. And I said, oh, okay. So, I am a sport boater, okay? I do not race. I do not belong to a boat club. I have everything from nitro to gas to electric, from 55-inch boats to 22-inch boats to everything. But one of the things I did notice, and I agreed with my buddy, if you look online, it's hard to find, like quads, there's zillions of people that give you tips on quads and soldering and flight controllers and ESCs and all these things like I used to do. And quite honestly, I just got fucking bored with it. You reach a point where, not bored with flying. Flying's cool, but it's like, okay, how many times can you build an X that holds 4 motors? I don't know. I've done everything from 500 millimeter drones with GPS to 3-inch, Mocha JJs to whatever. Just got kind of bored doing the builds. And there's so much information out there on tips and tricks to do everything, and which is great, But with boats, it's not so much. And I used to think, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack on this, I used to think that quadcopter guys were kind of anal. I never really was, I don't think. It's like I just kind of did what I thought was cool and ran with it. And I'd watch other people's videos, and it's like, yeah, he's kind of anal. But man, boat people are really fucking bad. Not that they're not cool, and not that they're not helpful, don't get me wrong. But it's just like, oh, well, you have to set your prop 1/8 below the sponson trim line, and your shaft line has to be this, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So I have decided to start doing some boat tech videos, because it is really hard, whether it be nitro, electric, or gas. I'm going to do all three, to find specific things. If you go on forums, you can find a lot of boat stuff, but on YouTube, there's nobody that really just does specific boat things like quads. And I think, you know what? I'm doing all this boat shit anyway. I might as well do it. So anyway, I have a build coming up, and I'm going to video parts of it, and it's a massive build. It's gorgeous. It's going to be an Aeromarine Chaos hull, which is a big gas hydro, and I'm going to put a 30cc Pro Mod Zenoa engine in it. It's going to be a gas RC boat, so very, very big, loud, tune pipes, very, very cool. But this video, and I apologize for the long intro, we all know I'm long-winded. Get your roto twister, hang on. It's going to be about setting up your shaft, your flex shaft, for that a gas boat, but this is also for electric boat or nitro boat, depends. It's all about the size. So Bardwell, if you're watching, go away, because anyway, for you boat guys, you have no idea what I just said, but you quad guys know what I mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the drive dog. When you buy a flex shaft and you're building a boat from scratch, okay, this is your drive shaft for your prop, okay? So this is going to go in your stuffing tube, which is just a hard tube, copper tube, or brass, depending on what you're doing. And I will do a video on how to anneal one of these and bend them and put them in the boat, and that's all well and good. This is going to go in yaw, like that, okay? And this is the actual shaft that your prop is going to go on, and this is your flex. But setting your drive dog, if you look at your prop, this is a massive, massive prop, right? This is for a gas 45-ish inch hull. This is going to go on our hydroplane. you can see that if you just put it on here, maybe, come on, we're gonna have to, all right, you can see that there's nothing to actually hold the prop on. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to set the drive dog. And you know, I'm gonna start these videos off assuming that people don't know anything about what we're talking about. So this is our prop, in this case a 3-bladed prop, okay, for a 1/4-inch shaft. And this is our drive dog, okay? So what this is, you've got a set screw there, and that is the collar, if you will. And I'm gonna assume this is metric. The bad thing about boats and the nice thing about quads is quads, everything's metric. Boats, depends on who you buy it from. It's kind of like American-made cars. Some are metric, some aren't. So your drive dog is gonna slide onto here, and then you got a set screw. Well, you can't put your set screw on a round surface. So what we're gonna do is we're going to gauge how this is gonna go. Where's our nuts? Oh, see all this gear I've got for this new boat? We're gonna call him Vader. My buddy Wes and I kind of designed it together. I said, oh, I sold a bunch of stuff on eBay. I said, we gotta build a new boat. And he helps me out just like he used to help me out with quads. Okay, so here's our prop nuts, shaft nuts, sorry, whatever you want to call it. Technical term is prop nut. All right, these are self-locking. So what you want to do, this is how I do it. We're going to set our prop, and we might have to loosen this up a bit. See, this prop is really rough. All right, I'm gonna have to, the shaft is fine, but the prop needs a little bit of filing. So I'm gonna file this out real quick. Use a rat tail file. See, do I have one here? Yeah. See, this should be sliding fairly easy. So what we're gonna do, I get most of my stuff, my boat stuff, from Zip Kits. Depends on what I'm doing. Or Gizmo Motors, or Offshore Electrics, and I will put links to all those videos down there. So what we're going to do, we have to balance this prop anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and rat tail file this guy a little bit, and we're going to get it so it's on the shaft, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here's what we did. We honed out the prop a little bit. We just took a rat tail file, bam, and we went through the core, and we got around there. So what I like to do is I like to go a little bit deeper than the nut would go, okay? Sometimes people go double. I don't really see the point in that. I think one is, you know, at least a single depth is enough, like that. Now, the prop is just sitting there floating up. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to take the set screw out of our drive collar, or our drive dog, okay? So we have a nice hole, and we're going to slide that on the other end. This is very simple to do, kids. Not hard. And then we're going to move this up to right there. All right? Then what I do is I take a Sharpie marker and I mark it. This is a little felt tip marker type of deal. All right? Then we're going to pull this back off. You got a nice little dot. See that dot right there? Bam! Very hard to see. Anyway, so then we're going to take that off. Then what I'm going to do, my prop's still a little bit tight. It's all right. We're going to take the prop back off. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our Dremel tool with a blade cut like this, and we're going to make a slot, and I will make that off video because this is too hard to do it on camera, and I will show you the result. Hang on. All right, so here's what we did. We just took our cutting wheel and I made a little notch like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. I know some people say it does, that's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide this back on, but you just basically need a T. We're gonna put that in there, okay? Then we're going to take our set screw, blue Loctite, unless you feel like drilling it out later. And we're going to reset this back in. Nice and tight. So basically you're just giving that a flat surface to grab onto. That's all you're doing. Do not ever go past half depth or even to half depth of the diameter of your 1/4 inch shaft, or whichever shaft you're dealing with. You're going to weaken it, you're going to throw it out of balance really bad, and that will not be good. So there we go, and that's going to come down to there, and our prop nut is going to go onto there. So let's see if we can't get this on here. Still need to hone out this prop a little bit. It's a little tight. Beautiful prop, but there we go. Okay. And then I'm not going to bother tightening this down because I have to balance and sharpen this prop anyway. But there you go. All right. So when we go to set this in, our drive dog is nice and tight. It's going to lock really well. We're not going to have any issues. This is going to go into our strut, and everything's going to be nice. Okay. So once I get the hull, I am going to do some stuffing tube, which is also known as your shaft tube. They call it a stuffing box. Not really sure why, but whatever. And then I'm going to do some videos on that. Something to note, when you go to cut your prop shaft, you want to leave the amount of space that is the depth of your shaft. So like in this case, this is a 1/4 inch shaft, 1/4 inch diameter. So when we cut this and it's going into the collet of the engine, which I'll show later, we want to have about an extra 1/4 of an inch sticking out, because when the engine rides up and torques up, it's going to actually, you can see this is kind of like a spring in a way. It's actually going to get torsion on that shaft and shrink. If you have it just like this, there's no room for it to play. So it's going to actually pop. It's either going to break your shaft or pull it out of the collet or fuck something up. So what you want to do is have at least the diameter space. So this is a 1/4 inch, so we want at least a 1/4 of an inch of space here. A little bit more isn't going to hurt, okay? And that will give you room for expansion and contraction of your shaft. So that very basic video, but again, with the boat stuff, a lot of guys don't know, or a lot of people, girls, whatever, don't know the very basics of setting up boat stuff. So I'm just going to do a little series here and there whenever I'm in the mood. We got the roto twisters, everything's good. We're going to do little tech tips on doing boat stuff. So there you go. So keep the dry side up, shiny side up, all that good shit. Talk to you later, kids.